Well, good afternoon, everybody. I spent the morning and the afternoon looking at the damage along the Jersey Shore, starting up in Seabright and ending here in Seaside Heights, where much of the iconic boardwalk is buckled, and much of the piers are out to sea. The devastation I talked about a week ago is even more real to me today, and I don't think any of us could really have expected the results of what we got from this storm. But it's true that the shore and the boardwalk in Seaside Heights of my childhood no longer exists. People are out of their homes. They've seen their lives and their belongings and their memories destroyed. For the people of our state that have been so intimately impacted by this storm, it will be hard to ever know life as it used to be exactly. But we are now working towards helping them create a new life. They don't quite know it yet, but we're going to get there. We're moving into a new phase in our new post-storm world in New Jersey. I've talked a lot over the past 10, 12 days that we viewed the storm in phases, and I want to go back over that with all of you again. First stage was preparation and evacuation. All right, so this was the pre-storm phase, when we did what we needed to do as a state and as an administration to get ready. During this phase, my number one priority was protecting the lives of the people of the state. We issued mandatory evacuations. We stood up shelters. We activated the National Guard, and we told people that if they didn't get out, the one thing they would never be able to recover was their lives and the lives of their families. And people evacuated in the main, and I thank them for that. And the reward for that is that the loss of life, while tragic, has been minimal, and that's my first obligation as governor, is to protect the lives of the people of this state. And along with the help of the people that you see behind me and others throughout the state, we were able to protect the maximum number of lives in New Jersey. Next was the recovery phase. Now, this phase began as soon as the storm ended and the winds died down, and we could start to get people out to evaluate the losses and to make sure that we started to repair the things that could be repaired. We're going to focus on achieving normalcy for life post-Hurricane Sandy. It means making progress on the basic elements of life. Power being turned back on, fuel in people's cars, kids going to school, clean water, clear roads. Now, by Sunday, we will have substantial and almost completely realized progress on all of these fronts, and life will be back for most of New Jersey to normal come Sunday. What do I mean by that? Let's start off with power. We backtracked slightly in our efforts to restore power due to the nor'easter, but after talking with the utilities last night and again this morning, my belief is that we will have almost 100% restoration by Saturday night. Right now, there's approximately 240,000 households without power. The number is down approximately 150,000 from yesterday's numbers. 97% of PSE&G customers have power. 84% of JCP&L customers have power. 99% of Atlantic City Electric and 98% of Orange and Rockland have power. Now, there will be a phase for folks here, and I talked to the mayor about this, along the barriers that will become more slow, because we want to make sure it's safe here to turn back on power and to invite people back on to the barrier islands. But we're working with JCP&L, and I'll be meeting with them later today to discuss their plans for this barrier island. Long Beach Island, I will lift the evacuation order for Long Beach Island effective 6 a.m. Saturday morning. People can begin to repopulate Long Beach Island 6 a.m. Saturday morning. Fuel. We have seen tens of thousands of gallons of fuel delivered to the state over the last week to help with priority locations, whether it was gas stations or generators, to keep key facilities going. It's been done under the auspices of the National Guard and General Kniff, and Michelle Brown, the CEO of the Economic Development Authority, who took charge of the fuel crisis in the state during this storm. The fact that we were never actually at a shortage of fuel, and I continue to say that, hopefully kept people calmer, as did the odd-even system that's now in effect, has cut down on the lines substantially. And as I drove around the state today, I barely see any lines anymore for fuel. So I'm going to keep monitoring this, but I think I'm in a position this weekend to reassess the need for the odd-even system to be in effect and probably make a decision the early part of next week, hopefully to be able to lift it and in the 12 counties where we have it and be able to return folks to normal there. Schools. We made huge strides this week. Today, 80% of the state's schools are open and operating. 82% of the school districts are open and operating. And while all districts were expected to be of yesterday and today, were expected to be out yesterday and today due to the NJEA conference, we appreciate the fact that the NJEA canceled their conference and teachers are in the classroom today, adding to the instructional days we need for our children. Water. We still have about 10 systems of boil water advisories associated with power outage issues, but expect as the power comes on this weekend, those will be resolved as well. Roads. The state roads are clear after DOT handled over 500 road closures and incidents beginning the Sunday night before the storm. After completing the clearing and opening of state roads, DOT sent out resources to counties and localities to help them clear their roads. And now their primary focus, as I saw personally today, is on making repairs and removing debris on Route 36 and Route 35 here in this area of the state. While roads are clear, we're still making progress on public transportation. There was a lot of power, signal, rail damage as a result of the storm as Amtrak works to open up additional tunnels into New York City, and we work to repair the damage to the Northeast Corridor. New Jersey Transit is operating free weekday emergency shuttle bus and ferry service to help with the fact that we have less trains going into New York. So look on the NJ Transit website. There are free park and rides. You can take shuttle buses to the ferries and go over, and we are still running some trains to New York City every day. And I will tell you, when I was up at Seabright today, all I heard over and over again from the mayor and the emergency management people at Seabright was compliments for our Department of Transportation, clearing the sand off of their main streets and making them passable again. And I want to compliment the Commissioner of Transportation, Jim Simpson, and the people who work under him for really extraordinary the job they've done here and around the state in making our roads safe to pass for our citizens. So I think by Monday morning, when everybody gets up, for the overwhelming majority of the state, life will be back to what they perceive as normal. Schools will be opened. Gas stations will be open. Power will be returned to their homes. Their roads will be clear. And their water will be clean. Then we move into the next phase. And this will be the longest and most difficult phase we'll have to go through, as you saw from those scenes behind me and for those of you who walked on the boardwalk with me, and that'll be the rebuilding phase. We're inching towards the rebuilding phase, and I've said this from the beginning. This is going to be where we have to show that no matter the time that passes, we are in this together. I know that as time creates distance from the immediate storm, memories outside of New Jersey may become short. Attention will dwindle, and the public may become less interested. I know that's not the case for the people here living this phase day in and day out. And I'm letting you know today that I will not let people forget as days, weeks, and months pass. Because I want to be honest and direct about this. This phase is going to take months, if not years, to be completed fully and to our satisfaction. The devastation we've seen over the last week is not something that can be rebuilt overnight. And I'm going to have to tell you a hard truth. Next summer is not going to be exactly like last summer. I'm always going to be honest with you throughout this, and I'm not going to sugarcoat things. The reality of the situation is we're going to have some real challenges ahead of us, and we've got to work together to try to fix them. We're just not going to be able to rebuild the shore, the boardwalk, and the surrounding communities back to exactly the way they were last summer in time for this summer. That's just the truth. This is going to be long, and it's going to be expensive, and it's going to be hard, and it's going to be frustrating at times. Believe me, you're going to be able to count on all those things. But we're going to be with you through every hardship, through every frustration, and every step towards bringing New Jersey and its great shore back to the vitality that it had last summer and it's had throughout my entire life. I know we'll get there because we're tough folks and we don't mess around. We got a lot of resilience that we've shown over the last 2 weeks, and the rest of the country has gotten to learn exactly what I already know and what I've been proudly pronouncing all over the country since I've been governor, that the people of this state are among the toughest and grittiest people anywhere in the United States. So let me talk a little bit about how we're going to begin dealing with the rebuilding phase, which will begin in earnest after this weekend. Beginning this weekend, I'm sitting down with each member of my cabinet to discuss the long-term issues that fall under each of their areas. This assessment will allow us to determine our resource needs, our funding needs, and the priority with which they're met. We're going to put together a plan of action for every area we need to deal with: long-term housing for our displaced residents who live along the shore and in communities hit hard by flooding, reassessing and rebuilding the homes and businesses that were destroyed during the storm, working with the insurance industry to make sure that people get the reimbursements that they're entitled to under their policies, restoring New Jersey's most iconic shore attractions, and protecting and reconstructing our beaches for a safe and prosperous future. And we're going to need outside assistance, like we have in the aftermath of the storm. And I'll be asking the federal government to do whatever it takes to get this job done. This is our Katrina. And I expect the people of this state to be treated with the same level of compassion and generosity that the citizens of Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama were treated in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. And this much I think you already know. I will be New Jersey's biggest advocate in those fights. So this is the conversation we're going to start on Monday. Within my administration, within your communities, with your state, county, and local officials, and with each and every citizen of New Jersey as we plot the path forward. And we're going to move forward. There is no looking back. I tell people in my administration all the time, in the car of this administration, we have no rearview mirror. We rip that rearview mirror off and we always look ahead to the future with hope and with optimism and with determination. It might feel like we're down right now, and today was not a pleasant day to see some of the sights that I saw. But just because we're down today doesn't mean we won't be up tomorrow. I believe in this state. I believe in the people of this state, and I believe that we're going to work together to restore our state to the greatness that it's had before and is destined to have again. And I will work as hard as I need to work each and every day to help to lead that effort, but I'm going to need you to help me. This is not something I can do by myself. This is something we're going to need all the people of New Jersey to chip in with together with me. This is a special place for me. I wanted to end this recovery phase of the storm here. This is the shore of my youth. This is the place where I grew up and where so many of my great memories of being a kid in New Jersey were developed. And this is the place where I've been bringing my children for them to try to develop those same type of memories and have that same type of connection to this state. And so seeing what I saw today is difficult for me personally. But I can tell you that that only steels my determination to make sure that my children and other children across this state will have the opportunity to have the same kind of memories that me and many of these people standing behind me have of this place and of our shore. So for the people of the Jersey Shore, you have a partner, and we're going to do this together. And I look forward to the challenges that are ahead, and I know there'll be frustrations, but we will work through them together and make sure that we achieve. I'll end with this. At my inaugural, I said I didn't take this job to fail. I took this job to succeed. And there were lots of challenges placed in front of us over the last 3 years. But each one is measured by that yardstick. I did not take this job to fail. I took it to succeed. And we will succeed in this like we've succeeded in so many other things over the last 3 years. So thank you.